There are three main parts to the FireNet control panel. The FN4127-BO, that stands for board only, and that's the main control unit. The FN4127-CPA-BO, that stands for control panel annunciator board. And the FNPS402 power supply. The control panel annunciator board is attached to the front door of the FireNet enclosure. The power supply and the main control unit are attached to a mounting skirt and installed in the enclosure backhand. On the control panel annunciator is the PC connection, the printer connection, the panel controls. It's where the microprocessor and the RAM are stored. All of the intelligence are on the control panel annunciator. The main control unit contains the drive circuitry for the SLC loops, NACs, and relays. It also has the connections for the network and the remote control and auxiliary inputs. The power supply is where the AC and the batteries are connected. On the main control board, there are two terminal strips designated X1 and X2. X1 runs horizontally across the top, and X2 runs vertically down the right side. Here we see an illustration of a Class A SLC loop. Here we see an illustration of a Class B Style 4 SLC loop. For Class B, the 0-ohm jumpers must remain installed. Some things to remember. The SLC loop wiring may be any solid or stranded cabling that meets the requirements for power-limited fire protective signaling circuits listed in the NFPA 70 Article 760. The total resistance of the SLC loop must be less than 50 ohms. Each sensor and module on the SLC loop must have a unique address from 1 to 127. The maximum distance for the SLC loop is determined by the impedance of the wire. This is determined by three electrical factors. One is the wire resistance, less than 50 ohms. The second is its capacitance, 1 microfarad. Lastly is the inductance, less than 1 millihenry. For Class B notification appliance circuits, the first generation FireNet had NAC circuits rated at 1.6 amps each. The second generation FireNet, released in 2005, upped that to 2.5 amps each. With the new 9th edition, the NAC circuits now use an end-of-line device and can be used to power door holders, and can be also programmed as either constant or resettable auxiliary power. The panel is equipped with 5 onboard programmable Form C relays rated at 1 amp at 30 volts DC. The relays are fully programmable with the exception of the supervisory relay, which is fixed. By default, the auxiliary relay activates for 5 seconds upon system reset. This can be used for duct detectors or other 4-wire powered devices. The panel has 3 onboard programmable polarity reversing voltage outputs, which are fully supervised as well. The panel comes equipped with 8 onboard digital inputs, which are fully programmable. The inputs are activated by installing a normally open switch between terminal 12, which is the 0-volt reference, and the input. FireNet also includes a programmable function button on the front of the panel. The 120 AC and standby batteries connect to the power supply. Inside the power supply is a jumper that can be removed to set the power supply for 220 volt operation as well.